Hey everybody, welcome to Into the Dark, live here on the Spirit Realm Network. I am Mr. Bill.
I'm Jake.
I'm Kelly.
And I'm Michelle.
We want to welcome all you guys here tonight. Tonight we are going to be talking about herbs, and more herbs. Not to be mentioned to Herb, because we don't talk about Herb. We'll be talking about herbs.
Herb was the bad neighbor down the road.
Herb we got rid of. All right, so tonight we want to send a special shout out to all the men and women serving around the world for the United States military and the armed forces. Thank you for everything you do. Thank you for everything that you guys do every single day to keep this nation free. And a special thank you to the veterans out there, the ones that served their time, especially the ones that really didn't get to volunteer. They were told. You guys are awesome. Thank you very much for everything you guys do.
And we also want to go ahead and do a big shout out to all our first responders. They don't get enough credit. They go to a lot of the places that none of us will go. And the biggest shout out I want to give out to all the families who are out there that are part of the first responders and our troops who are always waiting back home for their loved ones to come back. So thank you from the bottom of our heart. And
hello to all of our Facebook family.
Yes.
You guys are awesome. Thank you guys, everybody over there. Let's see who we got on there. We got Andy, Jamie. Oh, Jamie's back with us.
Jamie.
What up, Jamie?
Hi, Jamie and Andy and Herb and Herb is here.
Herb and Herb. Herb and Herb. Well, you know what? Before we get started, how's everybody doing?
Good.
We all haven't been together on the same show in a couple weeks now.
No, we haven't.
I want
You guys missed me, didn't you?
Well,
Always.
you always pop up in the middle out there on the middle of the screen.
Well,
so
I want to make sure no one forgets who I am.
Oh, I don't.
We
think
could
we're
never
gonna
forget
you.
you.
Wow.
Never forget you.
How could anybody forget the great and wise Michelle?
Woo-hoo. And you heard it. Can I get an amen?
Amen.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
Wow.
I don't know where that came from. I just.
At least it wasn't hallelujah.
Uh,
All right. So tonight, again, we're talking about herbs. But tonight, I want to jump over all the way down to the end of the table down there. Michelle, how's your learning going? How's your classes?
Oh my gosh, I am so excited. My classes are going amazingly. I actually got certificate, guys. Look.
She got a piece of paper.
I got a piece of paper. Which
that just means it's official.
It's official. It has a gold little thing on there.
Seal.
So, but everybody's known I'm an ordained minister. I've been since 2014. But I did also get my degree in metaphysics now,
Awesome.
which is exciting.
Golf clap.
Yeah. And of course, I've also got a doctorate now in divinity, which actually is amazing because one thing we've always talked about is in the paranormal field of all types of spirituality, religions and stuff, all to come together as one. And
Definitely.
that was something that I was really working close to. I am still doing some classes right now with the most amazing Reverend, Sean.
Jamie says, way to go, Michelle.
Yay, thank you. But the Reverend Sean is, I'm doing actually paranormal ministries and spiritual warfare. And this has been an exciting class. So as soon as I get that certificate, I'm going to be showing that off. So
How much
thank
longer?
you.
How much longer do you have until you get that?
My first tests will be coming probably by this week. And then I'll have 6 more weeks to my next testing, and then I continue on from there. So
Awesome.
But I want to thank you guys, my team. I couldn't be doing this without them. They have been helping me, backing me up, and I greatly appreciate you guys.
She's testing everything out on is what she's doing.
I am testing everything out. It's
Everything
been
that we talk
amazing.
about. So I'm going to take over for just a second because hey, Tina.
Hi, Tina.
Hi, Tina.
After our last show, we had some people that made the comment of wondering if Into the Dark with Riverside, Iowa Paranormal is only about tarot and about Reiki. And because everyone knows that I never know what to say,
You don't.
Knew it was coming.
they typed it up for me, what I'm going to
That's
say
right.
here. So I'm going to read this real quick. It says, Into the Dark with Riverside, Iowa Paranormal focuses on varying facets of the paranormal. paranormal is defined as anything that lies outside the realm of scientific explanation. This ranges from Bigfoot and UFOs to the use of herbs, crystals, and spiritual practices. Each member of Riverside, Iowa Paranormal has a unique realm of interest and expertise, and it is this expertise that is drawn upon for each weekly show. Contents of our shows range from spiritual practices such as Reiki and Tarot to more concrete realm of technology and its use in the paranormal field. From astrology and signs to the zodiac to spirituality versus religion. Guys, we're not just going to cover Reiki and Tarot. We're not going to just cover a couple little tiny things. We are going to cover everything. Anything and everything you want us to cover. Again, remember, this show is just as much yours as it is ours.
That's right.
We want your guys' input. Like, what's up, Justin?
Hi, Justin.
Hi, Justin.
We want everybody out there to understand that whatever topics you want discussed, please bring them. Julie, what's happening?
And tell Ethan, hi, Julie.
What's up, Ethan?
Hi, Ethan.
We want you guys to also give us some subjects. We want to know what you guys want to talk about so we can work that into our shows. We're going to be here every Saturday night, -1 coming up. What date is that, Michelle?
July 13th.
July 13th, we will not be having a show because we have a large prior commitment for each one of us. So we want to apologize about that. But that was put together quite a long time ago, and we just really we want to be known as people who are when we say we're going to do, we're going to do. You know, we have our integrity also. So, Alan,
Hi, Alan.
what's up, buddy? So tonight, again, we're going to jump over and start talking about these herbs. And I guess the biggest, I looked up online, guys, and I wanted to know what questions were asked about herbs. And there are 3 major questions, and I've got all 3 of them here for us. The 3 questions are: where can you get the herbs? How dangerous are they, or how dangerous can they be? And can herbs be used for other things than just cooking? So I'm going to turn that over to you guys for a little while. I'm going to answer some questions over here. It's all yours.
Well, actually, we have some herbs out here already to show everybody tonight, and we're going to kind of be playing around with those. But herbs, there are some dangerous herbs out there, and I know that Jake will be telling you guys of some that are that way. But you can find herbs anywhere. We use more of the organic style herbs. That's something that I prefer when we make our mixtures, when we use those. But we also, you can get them online. You can get them at some co-ops, but you can also get them at your grocery store. I mean, you can use thyme, you can use basil, you can use cayenne pepper, paprika, cinnamon. Different herbs can do different things when you mix them all together. So we kind of get them from all over the place.
Yeah, exactly. Now, the next question there is, how dangerous can they be? And that really depends on the herb. Some of the more dangerous ones that are out there that I'm sure some of you are familiar with and have heard of would be hemlock and belladonna, to name a few. Hemlock is more toxic than belladonna, but both of them are fatal. And then there's another one, another quite famous one, which is oleander, which is also fatal in high enough concentration. So you do need to be very careful about which herbs can be consumed and which ones can't.
And yeah, actually, you can use a lot of herbs for cooking. I mean, you know, I mean, we actually use rosemary for a lot of our stuff, which is also a really good herb to use for cooking. So, yeah, I mean, I use them for so many different things. This is kind of like my little realm of happiness, you know, and herbs make you happy. You don't have to smoke them. Well, we do smoke them, but in a different type of way. Let me put it that way.
We don't ingest them in going, we do it a different
So
way.
what is oleander?
I
guess it's a new one for me.
grows.
No, oleander is also a very poisonous.
Yes.
Yes.
If you look up Myrtle's Plantation, there's a story about a slave woman who killed members of a family by mixing oleander with
Cake mix.
the cake mix for the kid's birthday, and it
Oh,
killed
yeah.
3
I
of the
remember you
4.
told us this. Yeah, okay, yeah.
I
And
remember.
what if you use little bits of it, it just makes you very ill.
Mhm.
And there are things that can actually help you. And the whole story is she was just trying to make the children ill
So
and
that
then
she could
bring
nurse
them
them back to
back.
health. Yep.
So she was able to stay in the home because she was one of those slaves that was a little bit too nosy.
And Mary
Yeah.
Ellen says it's very beautiful.
It's gorgeous. That's why it's like the flower of death, because it is so beautiful.
Okay, so say we've mixed up some stuff, and we need to use them. And a lot of what we're going to talk about tonight are incense to be
Yes.
burnt. I know we've got some stuff up here in front of us, but what do you use, or what can you burn them in? What kind of a vessel do you need to burn your incense in?
And really, that depends on the type of incense you're using. There are stick incense, there are cones, there's even liquid incense. But then most of what we're going to be mixing up tonight are actually loose incense. So that's where you just take a little bit of, once you've mixed all the herbs and resins and what have you that you're putting into your mix, and you can just take some of that powder and just put it directly on a fuel source, for lack of a better term, because I know that we'll talk about that a little bit as well. And then it just kind of burns on its own. So it's not held together in any way like you would see with your stick or cone incense.
And you want to make sure that you're buying the correct cylinders to actually burn them, because there are ones out there that can burn the loose herbs because they can actually withstand the heat. We have some different ones that we like. You can also use the small cauldrons that you can get that can hold it. They get a little bit heavy, but that's something we actually use.
Also, can't they use the ones that has the lid but it has the chain?
You
Yes.
can, as long as they're closed up,
Yeah.
but you can see, that's like kind of what we see when you're going to church also. Yes.
And hey, what's up, Nicole? And if you look at it, we started pricing now. We have two up here. The next one I'm actually going to show you on the screen. They can get very ornate. They can get very, very, very expensive.
Yes.
They can.
But just remember, it's all you. It's what you want to do and how you want to do them. Stacy, what's going on? So when you talk about burning them, what is it that you want to use to actually? How do you burn them?
We actually use the little disc, the charcoal disc. Now, there's a certain one that we like to use. Now, these are not our sponsors. We're not giving a shout out to them. It's just the ones that we prefer. The reason I prefer them is because they actually burn a little slower. So when they burn a little slower, it helps get each of the oils of the herbs to burn out while you're trying to do a clearing of a house or clearing for yourself and all that. But other than that, those are the ones, but there's different types. You can get anything. They actually have, besides discs, they actually have them in little, they look like little rock forms that you can sprinkle too.
Yeah.
So there's all different types. Again, this is all depends on what you guys want.
It's personal preference.
Yeah,
Now,
a lot of personal
A
preference.
little disclaimer here, because we need to, for safety reasons. Remember, that picture they showed, I'm going to bring it back up here real quick. That is actually, I don't know if you can see the mouse moving around here. That's actually charcoal infused with a little bit of wood and a little bit of fuel to ignite it. So when those burn, they burn hot, y'all.
Yes.
They burn really hot. These little ones here, if they come with that little disc on the bottom or something to sit it on, put that in your hand first, because that whole vessel is going to get very, very warm. And if you're walking around doing a clearing or a cleansing, or you're just lighting it to put it somewhere, you don't want to sit it directly on a table. You don't want to sit it on anything paper or cloth, because remember, heat transfers in different ways and can actually damage whatever you put it on.
Or worse, start a fire.
Yeah.
Which you
don't want
really
that.
want to
So we
avoid.
really want to be real careful around pets and small children, clumsy husbands, clumsy wives. So just be careful. Be careful around those things. You just remember, you are, like I said, it's an open flame. You're putting your herbs right in the flame. And when you first, this is a voice of experience here because I watched Michelle do it and then I did it right after her. After the disc was lit, popping some more in, don't hold it right there in front of your face, because that first initial blast of smoke coming up in your nose, woohoo! Wait, Melissa says she can't.
Everybody else can hear her. Melissa probably doesn't have the volume up.
Oh, Melissa, turn the volume up, up, up.
But yeah, again, everything that we're talking about tonight, everybody has their own preference of what they want to use, how they want to use it. And that's just something, we're just kind of giving some ideas of what we use. We use a lot of this on a lot of our private calls when we actually look at what type of cleansing, clearing we need to do. We look at, the home, the people we're dealing with, or what's going on, and that's kind of how we go from there.
Yep.
But tonight we're actually going to talk about a couple of things that you can do yourself, and it's not dangerous to any of your pets, your children, or anything like that. And we're going to be using some of these herbs tonight. I know we use a lot of the white copal, and Kelly knows a little bit about the white copal.
Yeah, copal is a tree resin, and excuse me. Oh my goodness. It's used as an incense, and it's very good, and it actually smells pretty good too. It smells almost like oranges, but it's used by different cultures, and they use it for other purposes, and it's really nice. It really is.
Yeah, and the white copal can be used. It's kind of like the white copal is almost kind of like your salt and pepper that you would put into one of your, one of your meals. You can use white copal on a lot of different things to kind of mix all your other herbs with. And then I know we also use a lot of the Dead Sea salt.
Yep. Now notice she said sea salt. And the reason for that is when you talk about salt, we know there are different kinds. There's the table salt that you see that you put on your food. Sea salt can also go on your food. But when you're talking about spiritual practices, you really want to use kosher or sea salt. And what you would use them for is that's going to help to dispel negativity. It can create a barrier around yourself. It also will absorb negative energy. And a lot of people will put this outside their front door and then let it do what it needs to do, and then they'll sweep it up and replace it. And so when you need to replace it, if it starts to turn colors, it'll start to darken as it absorbs some of that negative energy.
And that happens pretty good. It's kind of one of those that normally if you use, like some people do saging, and a lot of times what they do is they'll put the sea salt in the bowl itself. And as they're saging, the remnants of this of your sage will fall into it. And they say instead of dumping it, you leave it sitting there, and it'll absorb more negativity. Another one of my favorite that smells so divine that we use a lot of is sandalwood.
Yes, sandalwood is really good. It's unlike any other aromatic woods. They retain their fragrance for decades. And the uses of it is they use it for fragrance, technology, food. There's different religions that use it. There's Hinduism, Jainism, Buddhism, Sufism, Chinese, Korean, Japanese religion, and Zoroastrianism.
Drunk white girl here can't talk. She must be hanging out with Melissa.
That's a lot of isms.
I know.
It is. And
Wow.
And I don't think there is any cautions on this. I'm looking to make sure, but I don't think there is
No,
any cautions.
not with,
Angelina,
not with sandalwood.
Angelina says that she uses sea salts on all her windows, and it
Yes.
absorbs negativity.
Yes,
Yes,
it
it
does.
Awesome.
And again, when we're talking about using these different herbs and all this kind of stuff, you got to remember this is, it cleanses your home all the time, so it's not something that you have to think has to be a paranormal thing.
Right.
It is good for your health also to have all of that.
Yes, definitely.
And I know the next one that I really like too. Oh, here's one of my favorites. It makes me giggle every time I open the jar.
Just a thought. Remember when Michelle was talking about how some of these can be expensive? This next one's just a tad bit expensive.
So is the white copal. But if you're going to use these herbs, because you get them in a quantity, we buy in quantity. So
Yes,
you
we
got to
do.
kind of, price things out. The white copal is actually the most expensive one compared to the amber copal. Sandalwood can get a little pricey too. But this one is just a tad more pricier than all of them. And it would be my favorite, dragon's blood.
Yeah, so dragon's blood is a resin, just like the copal was. And what dragon's blood resin is used for is it can be used as a popular incense. And when it's used as an incense, it's usually used for cleansing, dispelling negativity. They use it during exorcisms, getting rid of old energy out of space. And then it actually will also amplify any other incenses that you're using with it. So it will take those characteristics of other incense, and then it will amplify those as well. So you get kind of a double whammy.
So
with
is it better to add that to? So if you want to make a stronger one, could you add dragon's blood just to it to
amplify?
If you really want
Yes.
to get something that's going to push something out, we got to get rid of this. And we know we've tried this one before, but it gets it to a certain point. But if you want to try to take it over the top, can you add a little bit of dragon's blood in?
Yeah,
You
you
can.
do. But you want to make sure when you use dragon's blood, you want to use it by pinches. Unless, now, a lot of times when we do different kind of herbs and stuff like that, we actually do by measurements. And one thing when burning herbs, it is very important. If there is an actual recipe to put those together, you have to follow them. Because if you do too much of one herb, it's going to actually mess it up, or it might not actually do the clearing that you're looking for.
Right.
And the super mama of them all is the rosemary.
Yes, the rosemary.
It's got two names.
Rose and Mary.
That's why it's so powerful.
Yeah, a lot of people. You can use this in, as you're cooking too, but also rosemary is good because it is used to ward off evil spirits and nightmares. And also, I just lost my train of thought. Sorry.
No,
That's
and
all right.
she's right, because the rosemary is one of those herbs, and you're right. It is one of those that also can be used on a lot of things. The wood that is on the rosemary is so flexible that they used to be able to use it to make musical
Yeah, that's
instruments.
what I was gonna say, yeah.
When the rosemary smells its most fragrant is when it has its blue flowers. And those blue flowers actually, bring out the oils. And that's when you get the most fragrance. And
'Cause
that's
it's the
why,
oils that
yes.
has the smell.
And so when you get them on the stems, hi, Stephanie. Hi, Mikey. When you're doing the rosemary on the stems, you want to go backwards. You don't want to pull forwards. And the reason you're going backwards is this way you're releasing those oils.
So we have a quick question here.
Mhm.
Angela says she used to have dragon's blood incense work as well.
Yes,
Yes.
it does.
Yep.
We-
To make the incense, they actually take the dragon's blood resin as a powder, and then
Yes.
they make an incense out of it.
So it does work.
Awesome.
Now with rosemary, there is a caution. It should not be taken internally in large doses. Rosemary should not be used medicinally by pregnant women, but it is okay for them to use it as a food seasoning. So if you are pregnant, be careful not to ingest it
Directly.
or anybody actually to ingest it, because it will do.
Isn't that
not
so
good.
wild that some of these herbs that we're talking about, it says don't ingest it, directly,
Mhm.
but if you mix little bits of it in with other things when you're cooking with it, it's fine.
Yes.
That just drives me.
It's
Wow.
wild.
Star.
What's up, Star?
So these are close to my heart because I use them on everything, and I know these guys get tired of it because they get a little hard to grind up. My first big guy is myrrh, and go right for it.
So myrrh is another resin. I got stuck with all the non-herbal ones.
See how I did
Hey, you
that?
notice kind of manly.
And myrrh is very masculine, especially in its scent. Now, myrrh, like dragon's blood, can be used as an incense for purification, exorcism, protection, and healing, as well as for funerary rites. And then if you're using just the oil, because there are places you can find the essential oil, it can be used in aromatherapy for respiratory and digestive health, as well as to encourage a sense of tranquility and serenity. And it will also help cope with loss and helps heal the mind, body, and spirit after a devastation.
And on that note, it can also be used as a pain reliever. Everybody has coconut oil because it's the new thing. You can melt some of the coconut oil and take myrrh and actually kind of crush it down into a powder. And you want to use just little pinches of it to get started. then you can take that oil and put wherever you're hurting, whether it's your
Wow.
joints, arthritis, if you've had surgery, don't put it right on an open wound, but around it. What it does, just like the clove oils, it actually will take the inflammation down and then cut out the pain for
Just
you.
like if you have your incision and then it's red around here, then you just put it where the redness is, and
Correct.
that'll help take it
It
down.
draws
Okay.
out that heat and helps then
Awesome.
from the pain.
Awesome.
And here is the papa that goes with myrrh, because we always put them together.
Mm-hmm.
And that would be,
Frankincense.
yay. I get excited with these. I'm so sorry.
Frankincense is a resin, and you can use it as aromatherapy. The essential oil of frankincense obtained through steam distillation of dried resin.
Distillation.
Again, drunk white
Yeah.
woman trying to
Yeah.
read. She's been hanging out with Melissa.
Wow. The fragrance of frankincense is said to elevate the mind and to aid in meditation and visualization, centering and connecting to the spirit. It is also used to help achieve calm, relaxation, and a general sense of wellness, which is if, say, for instance, you have a child and you put the incense in something and then you're burning it, it's supposed to help calm the child down, but it can help calm you down
Correct.
for, if you're having a bad day, if you're having anxiety or whatever, then just go ahead, get some resin and then, burn it.
Why
And
could, if that does so well with that, and this, I'm just throwing this out here because we all know how Bill's brain thinks.
Yes, we do.
Here we go.
And this is kind of serious. If that does help out so much, how would this be able to be used for like an aromatic treatment for, say, like, what do they call it? Postmenopausal. When they just somebody just has a baby, not postmenopausal.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I see.
postpartum?
Postpartum. Thank you. I wonder if that could help out with that.
Actually, I'm pretty sure that all can be, but you got to remember too, you have to accept something too. A lot of people have a hard time because right now everything is pop a pill, it gets rid of something.
Mhm.
So, to introduce stuff like this, if you've not tried to use it or, give it that time, then you don't know. There is a lot of these herbs that help when you have, just like if you have intestinal problems and things like that.
Okay.
All of it can be done topically. You're not having to ingest
Mhm.
things. A lot of these aromatherapy things, help when you're burning it, but it's also something that has to be accepted. Just like I always tell you guys, hey, it's going to smell in my house. And you guys are
Mhm.
like, we know,
Well,
that
and-
kind of, you accept it.
And I want to do just a kind of safety disclaimer here too. Yes, these herbs and these oils do have beneficial properties. However, they are not a substitute for professional medical care or treatment.
Very
I just want to be very clear about that.
Because you don't want to take professional or medical treatment from any one of us, especially me.
Yes.
So
So-
Star said it. We're talking about the frankincense.
Yes.
She says it calms and attracts, and it smells good.
Yes.
Yes, frankincense smells so good.
And you can also, if you don't find the resins and all that, you can get the incense sticks.
Mhm.
You can get
Mhm.
frankincense, you get myrrh, you can get copal. They actually
get
have
dragon's
Mayan, you
blood.
can get dragon's blood. You can get citrus, which is a good one too. You can also get sage and all those. So you can find all those already in incense forms if you don't want to mix your
Now,
own.
I noticed that they got the oil too that you could put in the diffuser.
That's where I
Does
was
that
gonna
work?
go.
Yeah,
Yep.
you
Does
can
that
do
work?
oil.
You can
Ours
use
the
it in a
same way.
diffuser. Really, you
Cones.
could even put them directly on
Yeah.
a charcoal disc.
Oh,
If you really
okay.
wanted to, you could take drips of the oil and put that directly on the charcoal disc.
Yes, you can.
If you
Oh,
wanted to.
So any way you want to do it.
Cool.
Jamie says, "Are you able to make capsules of herbs if someone has a sensitive skin?"
Are you for like ingestion, Jamie? Are you looking at? Because I guess that would be.
While we're waiting on Jamie's thing here, comment here, when Jamie want to know if you're talking about ingesting, one of the things that people need to also know is if you've got a family or you've got a bunch of people you work around, especially when you work around them in a small office or in any kind of office, please be careful. Some of these herbs and burning, even some of the incense, can make people sick. And some people have allergies to certain things. So you really need to kind of be careful, especially around your kids.
Ask if you are at work, ask them if anybody minds the smell, if they don't mind if I, burn this, or if I put it in a
diffuser. Yep.
Thank you, and stuff before you do, because like you said, some people may be allergic or they don't like the smell, even though you like it, they may not like it. So it's just a courtesy.
And
to do that.
and back to
for
Jeannie's.
Jamie,
Yep, she said yes.
Okay, so Jamie, when you go to some of the herbal stores, they do have things like that in capsules. And you can also do a lot of these in herbal teas. So you can make them as a tea to drink them also. So, you can kind of look at which way is best for you. I like drinking some of the teas. And there's a lot of recipes out there for teas for upset stomachs, headaches, and different things too. So
Colds,
you don't want to
fevers.
Yes. So, and sometimes the teas feel really good when you're drinking those.
So we want to say hi to Deanna from San Antonio, Texas.
Hi,
What's going on? So if you guys keep the questions coming, keep the comments coming, but real quick, we got to pay some bills here. And then you never know, might be some special things. I know Michelle's grinning down there on the other end of the table.
I have been waiting and waiting and waiting.
Okay.
We want to throw a shout out and a big thank you to our sponsor, the McIntyre Villa in Atchison, Kansas. And Michelle, it's all you.
Okay, I have been waiting to tell everybody about this. Bill's going to actually start putting the links on there so everybody can see it. We are going to be doing our first live show at the McIntyre Villa on August 17th. Mark your calendars, August 17th.
It's going to be a big
Mark it down, y'all.
We are going to be there to do our show from there.
Mhm.
We are going to have the opportunity to actually sit and interview and talk to Jeff and Stephanie, the owners of the McIntyre Villa, and be able to actually walk around and show you some of it. And we're going to do somewhat of a ghost hunt while we're there.
Oh, yes.
So we'll be able to have you guys join in with us. So definitely mark your calendars. August 17th, we'll be at the McIntyre Villa. You'll be able to meet a couple more of our team members. And we also have a special guest that's really close to my heart. And I know I can't say her name yet.
Not yet.
But I'm excited that she's going to be there. And yes, it is a she. And
Angelina up in Urbandale, Iowa. What's going on?
And hi, Angelina. And so, we're definitely going to be doing that. And I'm excited to go there. That's going to be our first live show. And we got some other live shows that we're actually working on in some other locations. So we're not always going to be in the dungeon.
Nope.
But we'll be at other locations to do some of our live shows.
I think that is one of the things I love best about doing this. We have so many little locations other than here planned that we can get out and then we can show you guys. And we are going to try our best to have some live shots of some other areas. But real quick, go to them. If you go to the McIntyre Villa, there is one of them up there that's the top one on those links that I sent out. They actually, through the Spirit Realm Network, have live static cams set up there. They're 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
They've been catching some amazing things
on
there. I've been constantly going over there going, oh my, did you see that happen? And then I find out I'm talking to myself.
Well, Jake, you and I were sitting down here listening to it that one day. Yep. So I text Stephanie afterwards and said, was anybody in the house? Was anybody in there making noise? She said no one was there.
Yeah.
Wow.
Really?
There was clunking and clanking and steps and everything going on while we were watching, just sitting out here watching one afternoon.
And there's some other static cams actually on the Spirit Realm Network. And I know we have a link to the Spirit Realm Network so you guys can actually go onto the website, not just the Facebook page. They have, I believe the Mason Inn actually has some Spirit, or has the static cams.
I'm throwing the links up right now.
Throw the links up. You guys click on it. It takes you right to them. There are some amazing things that you can see on it. And if you really want to watch me and Kelly kind of get scared and all that, there actually is a ghost box session that we did with Chris Moon and Dee, which we had an amazing time. And that was at the McIntyre Villa.
Yes, it was.
So you'll be able to see that also. And but you guys need to go around on their website. They have some shows on there that people are missing. We've got the links for you. So get on the links, takes you right there. Start liking it because pretty soon this show is going to be over there on the network. We won't always be on Facebook. So we're trying to get you guys to come on with us.
That's why we
Jamie,
got the links now, so that way you know, and then we'll let you know when we will be over on the
Correct.
Jamie
direct
says she
network.
wants to go to McIntyre so bad. So, you guys ready to get your workout on?
I am ready to
All right,
watch
I'm
this.
actually going to turn off Kelly's and Jake's mic, actually, because they're going to be making some noises here. Turn it over to Michelle. She's going to do a little bit of mixing. Keep your comments coming. Keep talking about things. Keep them going. That's what we love to see from you guys. So, Michelle?
So the first thing we're going to do is just a very simple clearing incense. Now this clearing incense, that is going to be, it's going to be 3 parts of frankincense, 3 parts of white copal, 3 parts of myrrh, and 1 part of sandalwood. Now, this is something that you can put together kind of, and when you're mixing them up, just make sure as you're kind of, doing this, you can kind of just, crunch it up a little bit. You just want to release the oils and all that of these resins and everything. Don't over smush it.
Now, real quick, while they're doing these mixings here, looks like you asked a question if we're on YouTube. We will be downloading these videos and putting them up on YouTube. So if you want to see some of our past shows, you can jump on there and see them also.
And Angelina, I am going to see you on August 3rd at the Mason Inn. I am going to be there with Chris Moon, Mama Moon, Miss D, and going to be there too. It's going to be exciting to meet you there. So I actually will have a face with who we're seeing. So yeah, definitely hook me up. This is why we turned off their stuff. This clearing one that I'm telling you, the clearing incense again, as we're jumping back into it, actually helps, like if you have a house full of members are arguing heavy and thick with anger, jealousy, depression, fear, any of that. When you're mixing it, you can take out your frustrations there. And like, again, you're just kind of mixing lightly to open up all the pores and get the oils going.
Stacy, Miss Keezy, see you're on here. We would love to come to Gettysburg, but most of the time, we just don't have a place to stay. So I guess we're going to have to look at you guys for that one. We would love to come to Gettysburg and find a location there where we could go live from. So if you guys know if there's any places you would like to see us go, shout them out to us. Let us know.
And if you find the place, then you will be the guest with us at that place.
Definitely.
We will bring them on with us. So now, like I said, we're doing a clearing incense. Again, any of these recipes that we're doing tonight, all you got to do is go on to our Facebook page, which is Riverside, Iowa Paranormal. And I know Bill will be setting those up there for us. We can get those up there for you. If you need more information, you can always get us there. So they're going to fill those up in here now. And then we'll go on into our next one. It's all good.
So remember, when you're storing these, if you've made a large quantity like this and you need to store them in a cool, dry location. Basement is kind of preferred. You want to keep them out of direct sunlight. It actually affects them if you don't store them correctly, right, Michelle?
That's right.
Okay.
All right. So now, again, that was our clearing incense. Again, you can actually, and I will tell you guys, this is the base of the clearing. But if you want to add a little extra love or a little extra energy, everybody has dried orange peels or dried rose petals. You can add it to this clearing incense if you want to add that extra love to it. Okay.
Tana, that's not very nice. She says we see who does the work in here out of the 4 of us.
Work smarter, not harder, Tana. Mwah.
Keena.
Hi, Keena.
What's happening?
Okay, so again, that was the base of a clearing incense. You can add, like I said, you can have orange peels, lemon peels, any of those. Let them dry out. You can add that to it. They will burn, and that will bring up the energy even more. And that gives it more of a happiness and love. You can add dried lavender to calm things down. So again, that is just a base. All right. The next one, this one is really important to me. It does not matter if you're in the paranormal or not in the paranormal, but this is important. It's called a protection incense. This is, you burn it for both physical and psychic protection, but the protection itself is for you. Now, again, you're going to do 2 parts of your frankincense, 1 part of sandalwood, and a half a part of rosemary. Again, this is kind of your base. Some people will add some extra little things to it to kind of enhance it. And let me make sure I do tell you guys, when you guys are using these clearing ones out here, make sure you're opening windows and you're opening doors, because as you're doing a protection and clearing of negativity, you want to push it out. So that's kind of what you're doing. Again, the best part of this is pushing out that frustration. You know what I mean?
Welcome
Look
to
at Kelly. She's got that frustration. Can you believe?
welcome to Inside the Dark Paranormal Workout. We make your one arm really strong, the other one hold the bowl.
And then you got Kelly, who's our calm and all that. None of these are really expensive. None of this is expensive at all. And that's the thing. Rosemary you can buy. You can buy fresh rosemary. See, I don't have a green thumb, or I would have a she shack and I would have me a garden.
Would your she shed burn down?
My she shed would burn down and my plants would die. But again, we can also, if you guys really want some of these, if you want, we can actually get some put together for you or send you different things like that. Salt and pepper style.
Are we pushing it real good?
We're pushing it real good.
Push it.
Wow.
Real good.
But again, now when we're doing all these herbs though, guys, when you're doing this, you have to have an intent why you're wanting to do this. So you want to make sure when you're putting it in and you got the energy, you want to go, I want to get rid of this negativity, or I want to do this, get rid of this, or I want to protect myself because I'm about to go somewhere and I know it's going to hurt me if I don't. Those intents have to go into it. Again, this protection incense, you don't want to go too far from it.
So-
You want to keep it the same. It's not like when we did the clearing incense.
Yeah.
So you want to keep it all together.
So here's one other thing we want to kind of point out. If there's 2, we're using a mortar and pestle to grind these up. If you can, I guess, use a coffee grinder, just don't mix it with your coffee, and use it only for that. There are different mortar and pestles out there. The one Kelly's using is marble, and it's smooth on the inside, which she'll have to work a little bit harder to break hers down. The one Jake's using is actually granite, and it's actually very, on the inside of the lip in here, it's very coarse in here. There's ridges in here, which he can grind them into. So his will break down. The only thing that and I don't know, I'm going to ask you guys, is if I know that like when Kelly's using, we can wipe it out and get 90% or 100% of whatever's in there out. Something that's very porous, like the granite, it's going to hold on to some of the previous ones, no matter really how well you grind it or how well you clean it. So is that going to cause an issue if you make a cleansing in one and a love potion in the in later on in the same one? Are you going to be cleansing your love potion?
In reality, in reality, when you're done using any kind of these, right, what you're needing to do is actually using things like mugwort and stuff. You actually make a tea out of the mugwort, just like you taught me with doing that. And you use the mugwort tea to actually clean these out, which then will take all those remnants out and you'll be able to keep continuing with all the other stuff.
So we have a question from Angelina, and Michelle, I'm going to let you read the question.
Okay. Let's see. I have a question about sage that comes in a spray for clearing. Actually, it is depending on if you made it yourself. We make our own sage spray. But if you have the sage in there and we have our own little recipe that we do and we use it, it actually does work. But a sage spray, if you're, be careful when you're buying it over the counter, kind of look at all of it. If you go organic, then yes, but we use tons of sage spray, especially when we're going to some of these locations, when we do some of the hunts, we use those. So we did the protection.
So let's jump back over there and get the next one up there.
Yeah, we got protection. We got
The
clearing.
next one is actually another protection while they're dumping this one over here.
Yes, but
this
it's a
one
different
is
type.
We use this one quite a lot actually.
We use a couple different versions.
Yeah,
Yes,
we use
do.
it at a lot of times of places where, well, I know we use it at home because I don't want negativity and stuff to come into our home. And nobody wants that. I mean, everybody out there wants their house to be a nice, happy, shiny, happy place for happy, shiny, happy people. So what's our next one, Michelle?
Our next one is protection powder. Now, this is a protection powder that we're putting together. Is for the actual outside of your home, not the inside. And this is to keep negativity away from coming in. So you're going to actually, on the dragon's blood, you're going to actually kind of do a couple pinches of that. But you're going to do 2 parts of sandalwood and 1 part of the Dead Sea salt. Now, here's where it gets, you can kind of change it up. You can use the Dead Sea salt, but you can also use Himalayan
Denise, what's going on?
pink salt, or you can also use black salt. So depending on what's available for you to get. So you got Himalayan, Dead Sea salt, or black salt to be able to mix with it. And that's what you can sprinkle out. Now, there's times where we've gone to places where we're having to use a little bit extra. We use asafoetida, which is also considered the devil's dog.
Oh, that stuff stinks.
It is the most horrid smelling thing, but you do mix it. I like mixing mine and grinding mine actually with a little bit of holy water. And that's kind of what we use too.
So
But
if you guys,
these are simple ones that you can use for every day for yourself.
and if you want to know
Hi,
how,
Misty.
what's up? If you want to know how bad asafoetida smells, get some Limburger.
No, it's worse than
No,
that.
wait, and put it underneath your nose and stand in the sun and let it bake for a little while. That's how nasty it is. Wow.
And the funny thing is, they use that in Indian cuisines. And if you actually just use a little bit of it, it actually enhances their flavor. But I will tell you, for negative energy, especially for when we're doing some of the privates that we do, it works amazing. Yeah, we got some comments coming in too. Great.
Oh.
So we got Miss D in the house too. So thank you for joining. Again, all these different types of protection, just like we're talking sprays, we're talking incense, we're talking the cones, you have woods, everything is by preference. But if you actually go in your cabinets, there is so many of those herbs in your cabinets that you can actually, use. And they do the same thing. Rosemary is one of those that you can use with a lot of different things, okay? Thyme is used a lot with different things. You can use thyme as helping with some of your teas. We have teas, we've used thyme and mugwort and different things in there. And all those will actually, good for clearing the fog out of your brain, having clairvoyancy of seeing and hearing and just going from there.
And hopefully next week's show, I'll have a little report on a tea that we're going to try to use.
Yeah.
It's called a sleep tea.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll let you know next week how it works because I don't sleep.
And that one actually is what with cinnamon and jasmine.
Jasmine flowers.
Yeah.
Peppermint leaf.
So Angela,
yes, it can dispel your neighbors too.
there is a story that we heard. There is a story that we heard about somebody putting one of these out. I think was it you that was telling us, Jake?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me make your mic live again. Go ahead and bring it towards you. Not yet. Is it ready? Once you got it down, go for it.
So that one was actually slightly different. It was still a powder, much like what Kelly and I just made. And so this powder is different than the incense in the sense that you just sprinkle this around outside, around your property. And there's another form or another powder. It's called hot foot powder. I'm not 100% sure what goes into that one. I've never made it and I've never used it. But the story goes that if you make this hot foot powder, you sprinkle it around the property of someone that you don't like or someone you want to leave, you sprinkle this around their property, and the story that I have heard from people that have used it, within 2 weeks, their neighbor who had no intentions of selling their house, in fact, did sell their house and was out within 2 weeks.
That is wild.
And again, I will give you a little hint about the little sprays. The best spray to make is using sage and lavender and some phalo, and those are oils, and just a couple of drops of each. I use distilled vodka, yes, distilled vodka, and then I just put a little dropper of holy water. And those actually,
Not drinking it, but
I'm not drinking it. I'm going to tell you, it makes the best sage spray, and we use it a lot, especially when we're going to the big hunts, like when we're at like a Missouri State Pen or somewhere like that. people that are feeling, really uneasy or feel like something's on them, we spray them with it. It works. Easy to make. Vodka, very cheap.
Oh yeah.
You don't have to buy the expensive
No.
stuff. You just buy something that's distilled and use that with the holy
Yep.
water. And again,
it really works. Too.
lavender.
I mean, we've
done a lot of
done
those.
a lot with that.
We have
It
tried.
smells pretty good too.
We
It
have
smells
tried.
amazing.
We have tried a lot of different things, and there's a
Yes.
lot of things that we have tried that don't work. And
Very
we like
true.
to try to dispel. Remember, one of the things about doing paranormal investigations or even a ghost hunt, now that I've been knowledged on what the difference is between the two of them. Thank you, Jake.
You're welcome.
One of the things is not just debunking what is going on there,
Yeah.
but debunking some of the things you can use that you utilize. I know there's people that don't like certain pieces of equipment because they say that they're false and they're fake. And we're going to get into that in the next couple of shows. We're going to start talking about some of that equipment. But you also have to try things, because what might not work for us might work for you. It's your
Correct.
intent. It all comes down to what you put from your heart into it. If it works, or if you're helping someone and that helps them, it may be something that we've never been able to get to help somebody. But if it works, who are we to argue?
That's right.
Right.
Well, that just got real quiet.
That moment of silence.
Well, that's okay though. We were doing a lot of talking.
Yes, we were.
Again,
Well, you were.
well,
We were just mixing. You were talking.
We were getting our workout on. We were getting physical.
Physical.
You, Olivia Newton-John. Thank
Physical.
you.
Again, we want to, thank everybody for being here. Keep your comments coming. We've got still a little bit of time left here. Silly question: how does one get or make holy water,
okay, so
or
this
is it just blessed water?
It is blessed water. And however you can get it. I go down to the neighbor that I have here. She's 80 some years old. She's big over here at the church, and me and her go. And do you see these huge mason jars? These huge mason jars, she brings me tons of them, and they sit on my front porch until I get home. And like she says, that's the good stuff from the big pool.
So she's dipping it out of
the
the blessing pool.
It's the good stuff.
Yeah.
We
but
get it directly from the source.
And she's like, I've got plenty of those, but you can go anywhere to do that. And again, here's the thing with blessed water or blessed salt, depending on where you're at on religion or spirituality, you can bless water and salts and anything else with an intent that you put in depending on what your beliefs are. So these are things that we use. I know Jake has things that he uses, and we kind of put them together when we're out there. I do a lot of the holy water. He's got his own little things that he does too. We put the different types of religions and spirituality together. And again, you can bless a lot of your own things. A lot of it has to do with the intent you put into it.
Question: can you? So, with what I know that Jake does, and I know that what we all do, if we got holy water from the church, can it be blessed again the way Jake blesses it, and then blessed again, but and put more into it?
I don't think so. I mean, I would think that that would be,
Counteract.
it would counteract. He could get his own type of water and stuff and bless it the way he does, and we use it in different ways. But when you're getting blessed water from, a church, it is blessed, from there. I no touching that.
So we have another question. What can you do to ensure you don't allow negative spirits into your home?
Don't have any cookouts and don't invite neighbors.
But I like barbecues.
No, actually, you're not going to keep the negativity out of your home.
No.
But what you can do is you can clear your home or cleanse your home to get it out.
Well, would that protection powder work to help?
To a point,
Okay.
but again, negativity comes in with you too. You go to work and you come into your own home. It's not going to block everything off. It's not a one down, all done. The biggest thing is you want to make sure as you're doing clearing. And again, if you don't use any of these herbs, if you just want to do it with sages or you want to do it with oils and with the diffusers, you can use the same type of things to clear those out. But again, biggest thing, the intent behind the clearing and the cleansing of the negativity. You want to say you don't want that in there. You don't want it, you got to push it out. So you can burn things all night long, but if the tent's not there, it's not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Angelina says, I'm a Catholic, so after the church, I dip bottles in the
Yep.
baptismal fountain. You should see the look. The next time I will use an empty gallon and
Angelina, if you do that,
Yeah.
you need to bring it over to like the Mason Inn, because that will be hilarious. But it's so funny. We're just seeing this little lady coming in and going, here's all these Mason jars. I give you these. So
And you know what, Star?
Hi, Larry.
Showering right after work. It's the intent piece. You want to get that
Mhm.
negativity off, and using some of the things like I know I've heard of them. Those bath salts or stuff. I know you can get them with the frankincense and stuff in them to
Epsom
help
salt.
Epsom salts
Epsom
and
salt
release.
is the best thing. So if you're feeling like you had the worst day at work and you just want to get all that off you, you can actually, they have a softer Epsom salt that you can get. You can bathe in it or you can shower with it, and it actually will clean that negativity off of you, off your body.
Mhm.
And then you can get rid of that too. We all come home in our work clothes. We're sitting on our furniture. We're
Mhm.
cooking. We're doing things. So all the stuff that we're bringing home from being outside in the public, we're bringing into our homes. So we just
True.
got to clear it out. And people don't think about that.
Mm-mm.
I come home every night. It is in the shower, cleaned up, and get my clothes on here and keep, all that work stuff out. Clean
Yeah.
it out. Push it out. Push it out. Push it out.
Way out.
That too.
Let's see what else we got on here. Hey, what's up, Larry Simon? No problem, Star. Hey, guys, we are running out of time. Thank you guys very much for everyone being here.
Yes.
Don't-
Yes. Thank
Do me
you.
a favor. Don't close
Don't
out
leave
just yet. We won't-
Stay.
Watch the ending.
We have a surprise for all you guys. Do not leave. Please stay.
Please stay there.
Please.
So next week, I'm not going to lie. I don't know what the show's about next week, but we'll get it out there because we kind of left the information for next week's show laying on the kitchen counter at home. So
Yep.
my bad. I'll take all the blame for that one. Sorry, y'all, but we will get it out there. on
It's
what we're
called surprise meatloaf.
And the surprise is there's no meatloaf.
No.
And
it's
in the
called
morning, I'm making waffles.
You can't use that joke all the time, Bill.
It works. So thank you
wasn't
guys
the
very
name.
much for being here. Thank you to all of our Facebook fans.
Mhm.
Thank you to McIntyre Villa for our sponsors. Thank you to the Spirit Realm Network for allowing us to be
Yes.
on here. You guys are awesome. Check out the Spirit Realm Network's Facebook page. Check out their website. There's so many of these other shows over there that people are missing out on. There's a lot of
Mhm.
information on there.
And Bill had shared all of those
Yes.
links
The
to
links,
get,
yep.
so you can look at the static cams, you can
Mhm.
look at the other
Now,
shows.
what is it? What they were doing the show tonight, but got kicked off. They're selling the crystals.
You're talking about Chris Moon.
Chris
and
Moon,
Dee?
yeah, Chris Moon and D.
I
Yeah.
want to give them a shout
Yeah,
out.
definitely.
Sending lots of love. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
We love you.
If you're looking for anything as far as, oh wow, they have all sorts of stuff.
Magical. They have
Yes.
magical jewelry.
Yes.
And stuff.
Oh my
That
gosh,
is
it's
phenomenal.
So
amazing.
jump over there and watch for them on the Spirit Realm Network. Watch for everything out there, guys. Again, you guys are awesome. You guys rock. You guys, here at the
Yes.
table, you guys are the best in the world.
Well, thank you. You're the best too.
So, guys,
Don't go anywhere.
don't go anywhere just yet.
He
Watch
keeps
this ending.
talking. Don't go
Keep-
anywhere
So-
now.
So, guys,
See
we'll
you
see you in the dark.